We've all heard it, right? It's probably the first thing anyone ever told you about woodworking. Measure twice, cut once. But what if I told you that golden rule might actually be holding you back from real precision? Today, we're going to dig into why that old saying isn't the whole story.
This quote from Lincoln St. Woodworks it absolutely nails it. Yeah, it looks cool hanging on the wall. But when you're trying to build a piece of furniture where every single joint has to line up perfectly, that trusty tape measure can actually become your biggest problem.
I mean, just think about it for a second. You glance at the tape measure, and your eye is just a hair off. Then you draw your pencil line, and how thick is that line really? You write down the number, and oops, you just flipped a 6 into a 9. See? Every one of those little steps is a chance for a tiny error to sneak in. And those little errors, they add up. So here's the breakdown. The old way, on the left, is all about turning a real physical space into an abstract number, and then trying to turn that number back into a physical mark. It's like a game of telephone with your measurements. But look at the right. That's referential marking. You're using the project itself as the ruler. You put the piece where it needs to go, and you mark it. No numbers, no translation, and, well, no errors. This idea leads right into another game-changing technique, sneaking up on it. Instead of trying to be a hero and nail the perfect cut in one shot, you intentionally cut just a little bit outside your line. Then you bring it over, you test the fit, and you trim off a whisper-thin shaving. You test and trim until, boom, it's a perfect piston fit. It might take a moment longer, but it completely eliminates the heartbreak of cutting a piece too short. Okay, so questioning measure twice, cut once opens up a much bigger can of worms, doesn't it? It gets you thinking about all the other woodworking wisdom you see online and how to figure out what's real and what's, well, not. You know exactly what I'm talking about. We've all been there. You go online to look up a simple question and you fall down a rabbit hole of angry debates. One guy says pocket holes are the devil's joinery, another guy swears by them. All you wanted to do was build a simple bookshelf, and now you're questioning everything you thought you knew. But here's the secret about most of these online fights. For most of us, they just don't matter that much. A well-made pocket hole joint is perfectly strong for a cabinet. The color of your drill isn't going to make or break your project. What's way more important is that you understand the basic principles of what makes a project strong, square, and accurate. So, if we're going to focus on principles, let's talk about the one tool that helps us master the most important principle of all, accurate layout. And it might not be the tool you're thinking of. Yep, the humble speed square. This thing is the unsung hero of any workshop. Its most basic job is just this. You hook that lip over the edge of a board, draw a line, and you have a perfect 90-degree angle. Every single time. It's simple, it's fast, and it's the bedrock of pretty much every woodworking project. And here's the brilliant part. The other side of that triangle, it's a perfect 45-degree angle. No messing around with protractors, no complex math. You just flip it over, put it against your edge, and you've got your miter angle ready to go. It is efficiency by design. But wait, you're thinking, what about a 22.5-degree angle or 30 degrees? This is where the speed square shows off its secret superpower. You see that corner marked pivot? You hold that point down firmly, and then you just rotate the square until the degree you want on that long scale lines up with the edge of the board. Just like that, your simple square becomes a super accurate protractor for any angle you need. Okay, quick vocabulary lesson, but a really important one. We all know level, right? That's what you want your table to be, perfectly horizontal. Well, plumb is just its vertical cousin. It's what you want the legs of that table to be, perfectly straight up and down. Knowing the difference is key to making things that don't just look square, but are actually stable in the real world. And check this out. Here's one more trick hidden in plain sight. You see all those little notches? Stick the tip of your pencil in one, slide the whole square along the edge of your board, and you can draw a perfectly parallel line. This is an absolute game changer for marking out boards to a consistent width before you rip them down. So, you've used your speed square, you've snuck up on your cut, and you've made a perfect mark. Now, how do you turn that line into a perfect joint? Because, let's be real, no matter how careful we are, mistakes happen. Your saw blade wanders just a tiny bit, your chisel slips, and now there's a gap. It's the worst feeling. And this is usually when you hear someone recommend that classic workshop fix. Ah, yes, the old sawdust and glue trick. It sounds perfect, doesn't it? Make your own custom wood filler from the project itself. But honestly, this one is a 50-50 shot at best. If you have a tiny hairline gap in a dark wood like walnut, sure, it can work wonders. But if you try to fill a bigger gap, especially in a light wood like maple, The glue darkens under the finish and turns your little mistake into a big, ugly, dark patch that's even more obvious than the original gap was. So, where does this all leave us? What's the big takeaway here? It's really about more than just learning a few new tricks. It's about a total shift in your mindset, away from just blindly following rules and towards actually understanding the principles behind precision work. See, true precision isn't some magic talent. It's a process. It's a dance. It's about trusting a physical object over an abstract number. It's about always leaving yourself a little room for adjustment. And it's about knowing your tools so well that you can make them do whatever you need. It's about being a creative problem solver, not just a person who follows a set of plans. So I'm going to leave you with this question to think about. What's one rule you've always followed in your own workshop that maybe it's time to break? You might be surprised to find that letting go of an old rule is the key to unlocking a whole new level of accuracy in your work.